following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
Good morning, Macomb. I'm Danny Fry.
And I'm Brianna Descaray. Welcome to this edition of Good Morning Macomb. Today is February 17th.
We have quite the show for you today. Lots of good events going on around the community. We'll have those stories coming up later on.
Plus, we'll have a special guest in the studio today talking about his recent book release. Dr. Casey LaFrance will host a book signing this weekend. He'll join us in a little bit.
And WIU Leatherneck women's basketball is in first place for the first time since 2005-06. We have highlights and some great stories from the game.
But first, we are throwing it over to meteorologist Devin Biggs for our first look at weather. Devin?
Good morning, everyone. Man, what a way to start out the day. Look at downtown Macomb. Lots of sunshine this morning. And look at the temperature. It is 51 degrees, and it's only 9 a.m. We could be hitting 70 today. That is hard to believe. 36 is our dew point right now, humidity 58%, so moisture levels all low. So if you're going to be burning something today, please be careful. We don't want any fires getting out of control. And winds are out of the southwest at 14 miles per hour. Coming up, I'll let you know our 5-day forecast, which has some very warm temperatures. Right now, we're going to hand it back over to Danny and Bree.
Keep that weather up, Devin. How about that?
Yes, thank you, Devin. The Donald S. Spencer Recreation Center is sponsoring its 4th annual Freezin' for a Reason 1-mile charity run.
Proceeds from the run help assist McDonough County families pay for their YMCA membership fees. First place will receive a pair of new shoes, and there will be gift certificates for the best dressed runner.
The recreation staff is asking students to be respectful, but to stay with the nearly naked theme. The race will begin at 3 p.m. this Saturday.
Record stores across the country are struggling to compete with the growing popularity of online music.
News 3's Dominic Nardi reports on the closing of the last record store in Macomb.
Rockin' Records is the last of 4 record stores in Macomb to go out of business. Despite its very loyal customer base, the store could no longer compete with the rise of digital music.
We're lucky enough that we've had a lot of very loyal, awesome regular customers who share that joy of buying music and stuff, but unfortunately it's a downward trend overall. It takes more than a few faithful people to keep a whole industry alive.
In order to combat the dwindling sales of CDs and vinyls, the store also sells posters with your favorite music group or sports team, t-shirts, Frisbees for your disc golf collection, as well as incense.
There is a market for everything we sell. There's just not a big enough one.
See a lot of records and CDs get pretty isolated. It's as funny as it sounds, more of a hipster thing or like an old-timey thing.
With the soaring popularity of music services such as Pandora, Spotify, and Apple Music, stores like Rockin' Records are struggling to stay competitive in the music market, a market that is becoming strictly digital.
I actually get my music from the Apple Music Store, and it's pretty cool for like college students. It's only $4, and you just add whatever music you want, and it automatically goes to your library, and you always have them.
One of the biggest benefits of these online music sites is being able to have any song at any time.
Convenience sake, it's way easier just to get an app on your phone than go to the store.
Rockin' Records will remain open through mid-February. I'm Dominic Nardi for News 3.
Thank you, Dominic. Rockin' Records recently posted on its Facebook page saying it will close tomorrow. Stop in and take advantage of their clearance sales.
Moving on, McDonough District Hospital is one of 3 hospitals in the state being recognized nationally for their patient satisfaction and high quality.
3 hospitals in the state of Illinois were ranked in the 2017 top 100 rural and community hospitals in the U.S.
According to BeckersHospitalReview.com, these hospitals are top performers in managing risk.
The other 2 hospitals are north of Macomb, CGH Medical Center in Sterling and St. Joseph's Hospital in Chicago.
Western Illinois University is continuing its tradition of bringing art to the Macomb community.
Whether you're a child or an adult, First Wednesdays is the place for people to try out their creative side. This event is open to all ages and is student and family friendly.
A great way to start to turn young kids onto art or adults who've been wanting to do it, and it's free for everyone.
Once a month, The art department opens the doors to Macomb residents and WIU students to try painting, pottery, and more.
Because most people want to do art, but they don't have the materials, they don't know what to do. And so we've got all the know-how and the material.
Students like Kennedy Marshall are always searching for new activities on campus where she can meet new people.
It's a little weird because, you know, you play with clay when you're a kid, and now you're doing it like as a teenager, so it's kind of interesting. You get messy. It's a great way to learn how to do pottery and then meet people on campus.
At First Wednesdays, people can get their hands dirty, relax, and try something new.
The next First Wednesday will be held March 1st from 7 to 9 p.m. at Garwood Hall and in the heating plant annex. For News 3, I'm Jennifer Holloman.
Thank you, Jennifer. Each time attendees get to take their projects home. I might have to go try that out. That looks really fun.
Is that a kiln? Is that what that's called? Is a kiln where you
No,
go
the kiln is where they actually like fire it and make it like hard and formed.
You learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
All right. The next First Wednesday will take place on March 1st at Garwood Hall and the heating plant annex if you want to go over there and make yourself something nice.
Yes. Now, he has a unique name and a unique way of making math and science fun for everyone. His name is Dr. Kaboom.
News 3's Heather Cruzan tells us about his recent performance at WIU.
The world-famous doctor stopped by University Television to give a brief tease as to what his performance was going to be like that night.
Dr. Kaboom is a German scientist who comes and visits us once a year and explores different concepts of mathematics and science.
I am a lucky man. I get to travel all over the world performing science comedy shows for children and families. When I come in here to Macomb, every year I come to Western Illinois University. They have a magnificent program. We bring in a couple of thousand school kids during the day, and then we have shows at night for the families. Many messages. First, that science is for everybody. Second, that science is not hard. It just takes effort. That's not hard, that's just work, and that's just life. And third, I want to remind parents and families that science is for them too. We have a mindset in the United States. We act as if science is only for certain people, and that's damaging our country. We need to remember that science is for everybody.
The Dr. Kaboom said that hands-on science participation by students is the key for creating interest by students. This has been Heather Cruzan reporting for News 3.
I didn't know that's what Guy Fieri did nowadays.
Who knows? And during his performance, parents and children were on the edge of their seats.
And moving on nationally now, Taco Bell has a new item on its menu at its flagship location on the Las Vegas Strip, and it's a really big one.
Yes, it is. A $600 wedding. Starting this summer, you can get married in the new wedding chapel at T-Bell's Las Vegas Cantina. It includes a service with a private reception in the cantina, a bouquet, a taco 12-pack, and a Cinnabon Delights cake.
I know that's all you care about.
That's all I care about.
Taco Bell is also holding a contest to be the first couple to say their I do's there. The lucky winners get a free wedding, airfare for 6 to Vegas, and more. The Macomb Balloon Rally has announced its feature balloon for later this year here in Macomb.
The Balloon Rally Committee posted this picture yesterday afternoon.
Peg Leg Pete the Pirate Parrot will be the special shape this year. According to the balloon's website, Peg Leg Pete was built in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
He will be piloted by Illinois native Dave Reinecke. The balloon rally is set to take off September 8th through the 9th. That looks pretty fun.
Don't go anywhere. Oh, I'm going to see Peg Leg Pete when he comes. Coming up next on Good Morning Macomb, a special guest joins us in the studio for the release of his new book.
You have 2 minutes to grab a cup of coffee and join us back here on Good Morning Macomb.
The club isn't the best place to find the lovers of the
I think just working with everybody in the newsroom, everybody has such a great camaraderie. All the opportunities that I've been given here have just been amazing to expand on that resume. I try not to beat myself up for the mistakes I make because there's so many opportunities. Just giving that experience, and this is how I got to do things in the real world, is really what the broadcasting and journalism department has done for me. When you have a really good show and that everybody nailed it, I mean, that's one of the best feelings in the world.
want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Garrett Covington chose Western Illinois University because of the law enforcement program and the chance to be a leatherneck.
Western has one of the best law enforcement programs in the nation, and I get to play the game I love. Whether I go pro or I go to law school, because of Western, I would take my success to another level. I am a success story. I am a leatherneck.
Think purple, think success. Think Western Illinois University.
Now from Macomb in high definition. Good Morning Macomb continues.
Welcome back to Good Morning Macomb. Dr. Casey LaFrance is a professor in the political science department here at Western Illinois. He has joined us before during the mock election back in 2015 and helped us with our election coverage this past presidential election. Now he is joining us after releasing his book, Targeting Discretion Model, A Guide for Scholars and Practitioners. And Dr. LaFrance, go ahead, hold it up to the camera there. He brought the book here. Talk about what went into writing this book and why you wanted to write it.
I wanted to write it because I had a lot of interest in accountability in public administration. A lot of times when we think about accountability, we consider it to be a dichotomous phenomenon. So you're either accountable or you're not. And it's a little disingenuous, and it misrepresents the degree of balance required in fostering accountability or managing expectations from a variety of sources. So whether it's the law or your agency's policy manual or political pressures from local elected officials or norms of your community or informal organizational trends, these things can all pull on you at once as an officer and as a police manager. And it can make it difficult to make decisions about which of those categories ought to have the most influence and ought to be prioritized. And so that got me interested. The book goes on to present a model where communication about these differences, about these priorities can be fostered, especially between rank levels, to help, to help develop some communication and at least some trust, and maybe even to help in the strategic planning process in police organizations. So
very topical book at the time too of everything going on in current events.
Sure, and I think this is one thing for the lay community looking at this book, just appreciating all the different factors that influence a discretionary decision might make it a little more nuanced, or might make it a little more of something they consider. So as opposed to just assuming that discretion is something that's done with an automatic kind of tilt.
And you obviously had some experience going in. Talk about the writing process and how you use some of your own experience obviously writing.
Well, sure. So I come from a law enforcement family. Everybody in my family is in law enforcement. I'm kind of the black sheep of the family because my dad will introduce me. He said Casey was a good cop, but he got out. And now he's a doctor, but not the kind that helps people or makes money. So he'll tell me that.
The other kind.
But I got out of law enforcement and I decided to go into academia. But I brought some of those experiences and some of the scenarios that are used for training or from my experience there. But the process of writing is really, I think, the reason this book exists is because I had people in policing, sheriffs, police chiefs, subordinate frontline officers who were willing to participate in a variety of different research endeavors. So the book is a product of interview research, one-on-one consultancy, organization development exercises, a couple of big surveys with a higher number of subjects or participants. So it's triangulated, and you get the depth of some of these smaller qualitative methods while also getting some of the breadth or external validity of the broader, higher end methods. So it's if it wasn't for them participating, being willing to take a chance on some guy that talks funny in the Midwest, then I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. So
this book is available nationally as well, right?
Absolutely. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, through the University of North Georgia Press website. And if you come to New Copperfields tomorrow, I'm sure you'll allude to, you can pick up a copy and I'll sign it for you.
Of course, and why wouldn't anybody not want that? So we got to go out there and get Dr. Francis to sign the book.
You got to have something to hold down your paper, right? So this is an effective
paperweight.
paperweight, perhaps a doorstop, a frisbee if you're inclined.
No, but definitely a very good book, and thanks for coming on, Dr.
Thanks
Francis.
for having
really
me.
appreciate it. All right, well, you can have your copy of Dr. Casey Francis' book signed tomorrow at Copperfield's Bookstore on the square from 10 a.m. to noon, and then again from 1 to 3. You have an hour break in there. And coming up next, Storm Team 3's Devin Biggs will have a look at a very warm weekend forecast. Will this warm weather continue next week? Find out. You're watching News 3's award-winning show, Good Morning Macomb.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
I think what I love most about News 3 is that we're really provided with a real-world experience. We're able to get hands-on work in news, and it's very similar to what you would find in a real newsroom, but everyone around here is really good about pushing you to be your best. News 3 has really taught me to believe in myself, and that if you work hard, you can achieve anything you want. News can sometimes be really tricky, and you have a lot of roadblocks. All of us hold each other to really high standards, and I think that really shows in our newscasts.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
And welcome back to Good Morning Macomb. Very warm day so far this morning here across western Illinois, and we had this warm front to thank for the warm air, which is bringing in a southwesterly breeze. Current temperatures across the region, 42 up in Peoria, a little cold this morning up there, but 53 in Beardstown. Not too bad for February. I know I'm not complaining. Normally we're 38 to 19 for our range in February, and we're way above that already here at 9 a.m. We may mess with that record high of 68 that was set back. Can't read that date pretty well, 1921, hard to tell, but definitely pretty warm for this time of the year. I'm looking ahead toward our infrared satellite, because we can't use a visible satellite because the sun hasn't come up enough yet for us to get enough frames, but infrared satellite, we got some clouds moving on to the east, but here across the region, it is all clear. Futurecast for today, not much to talk about. Warm fronts moving on to the northeast, and us, we're staying high and dry, and it's going to continue into tonight as that southwesterly wind will continue to move in, and it will keep us warm and clear. And we're looking ahead to today for our highs, will basically be in the upper 60s to maybe even low 70s. I know I'm not complaining about this weather. And looking ahead towards tonight, it'll be around 44 to 46, basically in the mid 40s. And today, I'm not complaining about this at all. We could be missing with 70. Winds will be out of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and it's going to be a beautiful day. Tonight we'll drop to around 44, mostly clear skies. Winds will continue to stay out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And our 5-day forecast, I just had to throw the hot icon in there because I cannot believe how warm it's going to be for this time of the year. We could be missing with 70s for this time of the year. and a little cool down on Saturday, but not too bad for this time of the year, and not too bad for February, if you ask me.
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, if it could be like this all the time, and you're right, it's not just warm, it's hot.
Yeah, it's pretty much hot. 70s in February, that's really rare.
Oh.
I feel like it's time to break out the spring clothes.
You bet.
Oh, shorts coming out for sure. Thank you very much, Devin. Up next in sports, a huge matchup inside Western Hall.
Now the WIU women's hoops team did in a battle for first place in the Summit League. Good Morning Macomb continues after the break.
I see skies of blue.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
My favorite thing about NEWS3 is you're constantly working with someone. If you're not going to work with someone, then your show's not going to go right. NEWS3 has really got me ready and prepared for the outside world. Traveling to do a tornado story, or if that even means traveling to Iowa to cover third graders, I get to work with some fantastic people. It wouldn't be the show that it was today without the production crew, without our anchors, without our talent. It's really a team effort, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to be here.
Welcome back to Good Morning Macomb. The Western Illinois women's basketball team has a history with South Dakota State, including a 19-game losing streak to those pesky Jackrabbits.
On Wednesday night, in front of a packed Western Hall, the Leathernecks battled with that same South Dakota State team for first place in the Summit League.
Let's take you there to a packed Western Hall, announced crowd of 1,350. Early in the first, Olivia Braun on the drive. She raises and hits the mid-range J. It's tied at 2 early on. Then Taylor Higginbotham and Mallory Boyle who buries the 3. Western off to a great start, up 8-4. Still in the first, Braun to Morgan Bloomer in the paint. It'll lay it in. Western ahead, 16-4, first media timeout. But SDSU would fight back. Sydney Tracy gets it down low, 4-2. Then Ina Viso to Madison Giebert in the corner to connect on the triple. Western trailed 42-35 at the half. Third quarter now, Morgan Bloomer, bang, biscuit for the 3. Western trails 47-44, but it would start to get interesting. Carrie Young to tie things up at 57. A bullet pass inside from Emily Clemens to Morgan Bloomer. She makes it a 76-70 Western lead. Western from there would hold on to win by 6. A final score of 83-77. Emily Clemens reaches the 1,000-point mark in her career by notching a team-high 20 points and 6 assists to put the Leathernecks alone at the top of the Summit League. A new sheriff in town with 2 games left in the regular season. Head coach J.D. Gravina loved the atmosphere.
Our first year, there were games we played with 40, 50 people in the stands, and I think this town got behind this team. Tonight, the student body got behind this team, which was phenomenal, and we don't win that game without this atmosphere, no question.
Immediately following the game, 2 $500 checks were raffled off to students who attended the game. The money was donated by the women's basketball coaching staff.
One lucky winner had a priceless reaction, and you may want to watch your volume on this one.
Prince was one of the lucky raffle winners who freaked out. Gravina said the last time he was hugged like that, it was when he proposed to his wife.
And Coach Gravina is always a great interview too, and he was pretty excited after she was excited. And Bree, have you ever stashed something away and go, maybe I'll forget about it? Well, a Canadian man just did that. No big deal though, right?
You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, that was the case when workers at a TV recycling facility in Ontario found $100,000 in cash inside an old TV. Turns out the former owner had stashed the cash some 30 years ago, intending to one day give it to his relatives. Yeah, he forgot. Luckily, there were also documents inside the television that allowed authorities to track him down and return the money. Hopefully, he has since opened a bank account because there's no way he'll fit that much money into one of today's flat screens. But take a look at this. I'm Jeremy Roth.
Now, I don't know what you guys would do with that money, but if I found it, I might try to just put it in a duffel bag, don't tell anybody, and just run off.
I would feel too guilty.
No, not me, no.
Now, a California woman recently made a very generous donation to Goodwill, except it was a mistake.
Same thing again, forgetting to, just why can't you put it in the bank? When Linda Hoffman dropped off a bag of old clothes to Goodwill, she had no idea there was a stash of cash in one of her husband's old shirts. Bob Hoffman, old Bob, had been secretly saving the cash for 6 years.
2 days went by before he realized the shirt and his $8,000 in cash was missing. Bob told his wife, and they rushed over to the Goodwill Donation Center.
Employees scrambled to track down the shirt, but had no luck. The next day, a Goodwill employee, Caitlin Mulville, came across the shirt with all the cash.
And I was like, okay, like, could it be in here? And sure enough, and it was just kind of like, you know, my heart leapt. It's just like, oh, thank goodness.
I describe it as a miracle. I would say that it was honest people. And that was probably what touched our hearts the most, is how honest they were.
Bob plans to take Linda on a vacation to Italy when he retires. Oh, how sweet.
It all worked out. Let's go back to TVs and back to Western Hall, where students took their best shot from half court to take home a 43-inch TV courtesy of WIU Athletics. That's Angel Carrera knocking down the half-court heave, and he brought home the TV. More Good Morning Macomb coming right up after this break.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream, that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Western Illinois University allows you to think for yourself and to discover the freedom to become your own.
Own it at Western.
Think purple.
Think success.
Think Western Illinois University.
You can be a hero by being prepared for an emergency. First, make a plan. Call a family meeting to plan for things like how to connect with loved ones after an emergency or your escape route. I am not fast. Build a kit. When disaster strikes, it's important to have enough supplies to last 3 days. And don't forget the batteries. Low battery. Visit ready.gov/kids for more preparedness tips.
Thank you for joining us this morning, but you can continue to follow us online.
Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Let's search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
From all of us at News 3, have a good morning, Macomb.